Chinese Mythology by Sandra Giddens and Owen Giddens. Chapter 3. A Chinese Creation Myth. In the ancient world, many civilizations had myths about gods, heroes, and beasts. Most, if not all, mythologies around the world included an account of the creation of the world and its people and animals. All of the myths, those of creation, are probably the most ancient. It is not surprising that most civilizations have creation myths. Most cultures tried to comprehend their own origins and the origins of the world surrounding them. These creation myths were, not surprisingly, also found in China. The most extensive creation account, and one that appears in many Chinese sources, is the myth involving the giant Pangu. This myth has survived in texts since the 3rd century AD and told how the world was created for humans to live in. There may be older creation myths, but this one remains one of the most popular and involves the act of reducing chaos to order, a common theme in Chinese mythology. Pangu and the creation of the world. At the dawn of time, the universe was a dark chaos, a black mass of nothingness. Heaven and earth were not separated. The sun, the moon, and the galaxies were not yet existent. Then an egg was formed within the darkness. Inside the egg, a giant Pangu was residing. Pangu continued to sleep and grow safely inside the egg. After aeons, it was time for Pangu to escape his egg. He was gigantic, and when he stretched his legs, the eggshell surrounding him cracked. The lighter parts of the egg floated upward to form the heavens above, while the heavier parts sank to form the earth with the sky, yin and yang. When Pangu looked around him, he was content, but he started to worry that heaven and earth would collide, so he thought of a practical idea. He placed himself between the two with his head holding up the sky and his feet planted firmly on the earth. Pangu was not finished growing, so he continued to grow at a rate of 10 feet, 3 meters a day for 18,000 years. As he grew, the sky and the earth continued to separate even farther until they seemed secure about 30,000 miles, or 48,280 kilometers apart. Pangu was exhausted from his ordeal. Many thousands of years had passed since Pangu had grown inside the egg, and now he was old in both body and spirit. He went to sleep and never woke up again. When he died, his body made up the world and its elements. His breath makes the wind and clouds. His voice became the thunder and lightning. His eyes became the sun and moon. His arms and legs became the north, south, east, and west of a compass, and his trunk became the mountains. His flesh became the soil, with the trees growing out of it. His blood became the rivers, and his veins were the pathways men took when traveling. His body, hair, and skin became the grass and herbs. His bones and teeth became precious stones and minerals. His sweat became the dew, and the hair on his head became the stars that trail throughout heaven. Every part of Pangu's anatomy became a part of nature. Even the parasites on his body turned into animals and fish. Although Pangu is considered dead, some still say that he has control over the weather. which fluctuates with his mood. Creation myths also have factors in common with modern scientific theory. The cracking open of the egg is the myth of Pangu echoes the theme of the Big Bang Theory, which states that all matter was compressed into a single point at the beginning of time, and a reaction took place that caused this to explode and expand into stars and galaxies. Pangu and the creation of the world is similar to many creation myths worldwide, in which the world is formed out of the body of a primal being. It is almost impossible for the mind to conceive of something with no beginning or no end, as in the beginning of time or the idea of infinity. Creation myths are a way for the conscious mind to attempt to explain the infinite and to make sense of the universe. It's the end of chapter 3, A Chinese Creation Myth.